Hello, welcome back to Grandma Susie's Kitchen. I'm Grandma Susie. Today we're going to make keto blueberry pancakes. And we're going to go out in the yard and pick some blueberries. They've started to ripen now. It's the end of June and it's time for the blueberries to ripen. The reason we're making keto pancakes instead of pancakes with sugar is that keto is better for you, being sugar-free. Sugar is very inflammatory. It contributes to diabetes and weight gain. So a keto diet is very good for weight loss and for a diabetic, for anyone who wants to avoid the inflammatory process that causes disease. Okay, so let's go out in the garden, pick some blueberries, and we'll show you how to make them. The blueberries have ripened. They're continuing to ripen for the next few weeks. I have 3 bushes that were planted a few years ago, and they've all got blueberries on them. The new bushes that were planted are doing well. They won't be bearing fruit for another year or 2. I like to use a colander when I'm collecting blueberries. Then I can just run them under the cold water in the sink when I'm done. It's a very useful item to have. So we're going to look for the berries that are already blue and avoid the berries that are white or pink because they aren't ripe yet. We'll try to get about a cup of blueberries at least. Wild blueberries grow underneath the branch. So if you're ever picking wild blueberries, there may be a lot of blueberries on the bush that you don't even see. You have to look underneath the leaves to find them. Okay, we'll start picking on this bush now. It's very relaxing to be out in the garden picking blueberries. My dad grew blueberry bushes as a hobby. He's a professor of engineering, but his hobby was to grow blueberries in our home garden. So I would help him with that when I was a little girl. Learned a lot about how to propagate them and how to water them, fertilize them. I covered that in a different video. A colander is a lightweight aluminum bowl with holes in the bottom for drainage. You can just rinse it in the water after you're done. You can set the colander on the ground and pick the blueberries. Just drop them in the colander. Okay, now we can go to the 3rd blueberry bush and pick from that. My whole family would get together and pick blueberries sometimes. We had so many blueberries we had enough to give away to the neighbors. The birds are going to get some of your blueberries, but don't worry because the birds don't take all of them, and then you have some left over for your own family to use. Some people cover their blueberry bushes with nets, and you can do that. But I haven't had a problem with the birds taking too many. They know how to share. Interesting thing about birds is they do share with other creatures and with each other. Like for instance, blue jays will be allowed to stay on the same territory as a blackbird. The blackbird won't scare the blue jay away. And I think it's because blue jays are noisy and aggressive birds, and the blackbird knows that the blue jay is going to help him protect his territory. So they share the berries on a tree or the berries on a bush. So I think we have enough now where we can make some blueberry pancakes. Next thing you want to do is to rinse the blueberries in the sink. So you just run them under cold water. Rinse them off good and soak them if you want, but I've been growing organically, so there's nothing on there that's going to need to be soaked off. No pesticides or fertilizers or anything that could be clinging to them. Give them a good rinse. I measured a half cup of blueberries that are going to be used in the blueberry pancakes. The next thing you want to do is to take a tablespoon of butter and melt it in the microwave. So we're going to do that now. I'm going to set it for 30 seconds. We can watch it and see when it's melted. You can check it after 15 seconds to see if it's melted yet. Yeah, it took 15 seconds to melt the butter. It doesn't have to be completely melted. Okay, the butter is melted, so the next thing we want to do is assemble all the other ingredients that we're going to use. We're going to need a mixing bowl. I'm using a Pyrex bowl for that. We're going to use 3 tablespoons of almond flour. And 1 teaspoon of baking powder. This is Rumford brand. I live in Rumford, so there used to be a Rumford baking powder plant in the city. Then I'm going to need 1 egg, a tablespoon of stevia. I'm going to use 4 packets of stevia. That's for sweetness instead of using sugar. And it calls for a 1/4 cup of Greek yogurt, but I don't have Greek yogurt. I'm going to use organic, plain, regular yogurt with no sugar. And let's see, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. And then your 1/2 cup of blueberries. So you can measure them out into little bowls. That's the way a professional chef would do it. But I'm just going to show you like by putting them all in the same bowl, save ourselves a step. Here's my mixing bowl. 3 tablespoons of almond flour. It's useful to have these measuring spoons and measuring cups that come in different sizes. 1/4 cup, 1/2 cup, 1 cup. And what's the other one? A 1/3 cup. You don't use 1/3 cups very often. Okay, so we're going to use, and also I came up with this recipe and it was on the internet. I mean, I had it only posted on the internet, but I decided to print it out so that it's easier if you've got a printed copy that you can look at while you're cooking instead of having to flip back and forth between your phone. Okay, so 3 tablespoons of almond flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, I might use a little extra because it's been open for a couple of months now. If it's fresh, you can just go according to the recipe, but if it's gotten kind of old, you have to use extra to make it rise. And then we've got 1 egg. You have to crack the egg kind of hard so that it will crack, otherwise you just get pieces. And you just open it up, drop it right in. Then the stevia. Just can rip the packages open and dump them in. Like that. Then 1/4 cup Greek yogurt. teaspoon of cinnamon. I like to just sprinkle it in until it looks right. But you can measure it if you want to. And then you keep the blueberries aside. You're going to put them on top. I find that cooks better if you do it that way. I mean, you can add it to the mix, but I like to have the same number of blueberries in each pancake, so I keep it and sprinkle it on the top before I flip it. So, see, is that everything? Yep. Okay, now we're gonna, oh, and then the butter. And you're gonna stir these all together. Just use this for stirring. The mixture is going to be kind of thick like this. You don't want a runny mixture, you want it to be thick, so it doesn't spread out on the pan too much. Okay. Next we're going to cook it. For making pancakes, I like to use a square griddle because I'm making 4 pancakes and all 4 of them will fit on the griddle. I put them over medium heat, and then I'm going to put a tablespoon of butter, let that melt, spread it around on the griddle. You don't want pancakes to cook too high, just a medium heat is good because they'll scorch before they cook through to the middle. So then we're going to take the pancake mix, and you can see it's gotten kind of thick. It started to rise because of the baking powder. I'm going to scoop it into 4 equal parts onto the pan. If you keep the pancakes kind of small, it's easier to flip them. Because they fit better on the spatula. As they cook, they'll start to form little bubbles on top. When the bubbles reach the middle of the pancake, then you know it's ready to turn. Okay, next step is to put the put the blueberries on. So I got the blueberries here. I'm going to sprinkle them on each one, try to like evenly divide them. It doesn't really take a whole half cup. I like a lot of blueberries on my pancakes though. Spread them out a little bit. I'm going to keep the camera running so you get an idea of just how long it takes. As you can see, the bubbles are starting to form. When they form and then they pop in the middle, that's when you know it's ready to flip. You can also look at the bottom edge of the, like use your spatula to look at the bottom. This is still kind of soft. It's too soon to turn it. See, you can see on the bottom it's starting to turn brown, so it's ready to flip. Like that. And we can do the same with the others. Then I've just been cooking for a minute or two. Just check the bottom to see if it's browning on the bottom. This looks like it's browning good. So browning well. So we can take them out and put them on the plate. Come give it a little shove. Like that. Okay. Be sure you turn off the heat. Okay, the pancakes are ready. I saved a plate for you. Hope you will join me. And this is what they look like. I like to have syrup on my pancakes, but I found there are different sugar-free syrups that you can buy in the store. So just spread it with a little syrup. And I'll try it, let you know how it is. You have to let it cool first because the egg gets really hot. And so you have to let it cool. Wow, that's really good. I hope you'll try it. And you don't miss the sugar at all. It tastes sweet enough and it tastes like sugar, but you can avoid the harmful effects of sugar if you eat keto. Okay, have a good day. Take care. Stay safe. Bye.